Hey guys, Jonah here. I'm back with Supermarket Sunday because Sunday it is indeed, and yeah, I've been up most of the night watching MotoGP, motorbike racing. As most of you know, I quite like the old motorbikes, and yeah. Anyway, it's in Indonesia this time, so my God, it's on late in the evening. But I'm back with a Supermarket Sunday, which is part of my vocation review. And this time we're back at Marks and Spencer's because Vocation have done 3 beers for Marks. Well, they've done more beers than that, but they've done 3 beers that are around at the moment. And this one is the American IPA, which is hoppy and bold. It says there. Don't know if you can read that bad boy. I'm hoping it will focus, but you never know. Probably won't. I'm not too bothered, to be honest, because the Marks and Spencer's branding, especially on these, is quite mellow. So the other one was yellow orange, and this one is blue, different shades of blue, which is really nice. 5.5% IPA, and as usual, for these ones anyway, it gives you very little information. It gives you an ingredients list, which we might want to focus on. So I'm going to do one of those things. But it doesn't really say that much. Water. Beer contains water, eh? That's good. Water, malted barley, wheat and oats, and hops and yeast. Yeah. Suitable for vegans and all that good stuff. 5.5% on the ABV. But it gives absolutely no details of what's in the beer. Well, it kind of does. Oats and wheat, so that's good. So it's going to be a bit hazy. I thought this one, American IPA, I thought this one was going to be more of a West Coast style, but maybe not. If it's got oats and wheat in it. Wow, that was quite aggressive. Let's get this bad boy into a glass. I'm assuming the ingredients is right. But it doesn't look as hazy as the other one. Actually, it is a bit hazy, so Vocation, which is really good. Over a finger, around about 2 fingers. And lovely, lovely white bubbly. This is definitely peach. Maybe a touch of melon, maybe a touch of pineapple, perhaps. Piney kind of thing. I'm expecting it to be maybe Galaxy, maybe Citra, maybe Cascade, Centennial, something along those lines. Not 100% sure, which is always good. You know, when you're doing beer reviews, well, I do beer reviews and you watch beer reviews. Sometimes it's difficult to pick out exactly what the hops are. One, because my taste is probably not very refined. And I always profess that one day I will do a beer judging course to be a proper beer judge, but I try and give you, a real kind of critique, a real review. Sometimes I know what the hops are, sometimes, most of the time I don't. And this one I've not got a clue, no Scooby Doo. But yeah, let's get into it. Cheers, big man, because we are doing these reviews from Vocation for my best friend Jim Durham, who is sadly no longer with us. Yeah, as far as things go, I will be walking this life alone in terms of beer, anyway. Yeah, which is a real shame. I am in contact with a couple of other old friends, school friends. yeah, one that lives on the other side of the country, and one, Matt, that lives in New Zealand now. So he's on totally the opposite side of the world. Um, but yeah, not many other really close friends kind of that I had from school days. So yeah, feels like, you know, that scene in Last of the Mohicans where the guy's looking out over the panorama and he says, "I am Chingachgook, the last of the Mohicans." That's what I feel like. Anyway, let's get into this one. Wow, bright, bubbly, clean. Not as much oat and wheat that it would create like a creamy kind of thing. I guess that's why, although it's cloudy, it's not really, really super cloudy. This is not like a juicy Nipa kind of style. But the bright, fresh hops are quite nice. I very much suspect that what they've done, because it's a supermarket beer at the end of the day, this one, they've taken a recipe and they've kind of backed off a little bit. But 5.5%, yeah, pretty strong. I'll tell you what I am getting though is that kind of orange thing, that orange twang, which I usually get with Simcoe hops. So perhaps Simcoe in there. That peachness that I was getting on the nose and kind of tropically type things, I'm not getting so much on the mouthfeel. But the carbonation, and I'm assuming, please let me know if I'm getting this wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one is force carbed, because the bubbles are different when you force carb as opposed to let it carb naturally. I'm no expert, but I think that's what's been happening. It gives that kind of really, really extra fizz that you get with lagers and things like that. Maybe a touch of lemon in there too. Lemon, maybe fizzy pineapple. You know, if you leave the pineapples in the fridge for a couple of days too long and eat them, they go all fizzy because they've started to ferment. That's kind of what I'm getting there. A little bit of residual sweetness, but it doesn't taste kind of as natural as maybe it could be. I mean, it's a nice beer, 5.5%. Can't argue with that either. But it's kind of back to basics kind of beer. And it's in a small can as well. Um, wow, very well, very well carbonated. My God. Um, and yeah, £1.80 or whatever it is for a tiny, small 330. Jesus, man! See what I mean? This this carbonation is ridiculous. Um, yeah, very weird. I really like the fact that Vocation are doing supermarket beers, because they do some, as we've seen over the last month, they do some absolutely stonking, fantastic beers. However, as opposed to the Marks and Spencers ones, I might be willing to take a trip over to Tesco. Other supermarkets are available, but Tesco seem to have the broadest range of Vocation beers. Pay a tiny little bit more and get like a 7 or 8% beer, or even if I want to spend a fiver, get an 11% stout. The banana one is my absolute favourite. Get them while they're still there, because that is a fantastic beer. In fact, that's not only the best beer I've had this year, I think that's probably the best beer that is available in the supermarkets at the moment. Tesco's Imperial Banana or whatever it's called by Vocation. You'll find it. You'll know when you find it. 11.5, I think, 11.4. Jesus, that's a fantastic beer. Um, well over double the price of this beer, but you are getting a bigger can, number one, and 5% versus 11.5. It's like double and more. And this one's in the small can as well. So, hey, you pay your money, you take your choice. But yeah, I think I would prefer that one. Nothing wrong with this beer, and thank you M&S for teaming up with Vocation because doing some fantastic beers. But it's a little bit back to basics for me. And when I think of Marks and Spencers, especially when I think of Marks and Spencers food, I think I'm paying a little bit extra money, but I'm getting a really quality product. Whereas this seems a little bit more back to basics. So it's kind of a reverse engineering through Marks and Spencers. Anyway, guys, it's Sunday. We're back at work this week again. Back to work. Still feeling just knocked sideways from these treatments that I'm having. But yeah, this week is the last week for a while. I think I get 3 or 4 months off now before I have to go back into hospital. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink some beers. Anyway, this one has been a pretty good one. So I'm going to leave you on that thought. And like I've said many times, guys, get hold of someone and friend, maybe family, someone that you haven't spoken to for ages, and let them know that you're thinking about them because one day they won't be there, and you might regret not saying how much they meant to you. Um, yeah, kind of like I did with my good buddy Jim. Although we did speak reasonably near to him passing away, um, but I'll always regret not spending more time with him. Cheers, guys.